Alright, welcome back. As you can see, these are all... This is my collection of Beyblades and what I've got so far for the set. It's, grown... Not everything that you saw in the last video. I mean, everything that was seen in the last video is here. Like, for instance, this guy. This guy. Phantom Fox is in there. But, just figured I'd show you my whole collection. And just kind of explain what some of them are gimmick-wise and their general names. At least of most of them. Because some of them I'm not exactly sure on, because not all of them are on the wiki, like this one. But, I mean, he's got a free spinning base, free spinning, secondary ring, so I mean, not much to him. He actually hits pretty decently. Whoops, accidentally hit the camera. Anyway, let's start with him. This is Wyvern DJ. He's beat up to all hell. He's the first one I got. Metal base, wide, barely rounded tip, very flat. Lets it slip a little traction wise, and just a very basic blade, very solid blade. He is really worn out though, so I'm planning on getting another one of him. This is Sea Drake. Showed you a little bit of him before. He's got the rounded tip on the bottom. Surprisingly decently heavy. But, I mean, there's not much to him. This is a Tack Hopper. He's a very big blade. Very thick blade. But quite light. And, well, as you can see in there, he's got a spring to him, so you launch him in the stadium and he'll hop around a bit. Not much, but a bit. He actually sits pretty high, so a lot of the blades are actually hitting, like, this ring instead of up here. Just these, I have two of them, is Gaia Dragoon or Strata Dragoon, depending on which name you go with. Just a very aggressive blade. There's no real gimmick to them. This is HMS Attacker. And sadly, I need to get another one of this because I have the wrong base. This is how it came. I do not have this one's original base, or you'd see that. But honestly, the fact that it has this base, it's a very aggressive base, so it allows it to live up to its namesake at least, so I'm okay with that. This is Dark Effigy. He has the exact same base as this guy. So as you can see, the exact same fucking base. Different defense ring though. And this one I know is stock. Again, very aggressive blade. Very active in the arena too, so no other gimmicks to him. I already went over this guy. His name's like Jiraiya or something like that. Free spinning, tip, free spinning, mid-ring. Those are his gimmicks. Surprisingly, the top ring has actually got a lot of grooves in it for plenty of attacking, so it's actually relatively decent. Because of that free spinning base, he doesn't move around a lot though, so he's kind of a stamina type blade that actually has some combat function. Y'all saw this one already. He's pretty self-explanatory. That's his gimmick. He pops into two blades. So, Phantom Fox. Not much else to him. He's actually really light. They both are. Both sides of the blade are, so it can get knocked out really easily, but, you know, that's his gimmick. This big boy over here is pretty much Mr. Keep Away. He doesn't really do much else. He sits about as high as Hop Attacker. and like he has no attack power. He just sits there. It's actually a really weak blade because most of the blades will just push on one side of this into the ground, and then he'll bottom himself out. But he is Arrow Knight. He's actually a relatively rare one, so I was happy to get him just for that fact. This is Advanced Eterner. Very simple blade. Again, the metal tip, kind of like with Wyvern DJ over there. But he's not very active in the arena on his own. He kind of takes momentum from others hitting him to start moving around, and that's okay. It's a very simple blade, very simple concept, and actually it's one of my favorites. Just because it can go from I'm going to sit here and do nothing to now I'm going to beat your face into the ground, which is actually pretty cool. Dark Leopard. You guys saw him in the last video. I actually, with this base, with how it is, there's actually these pieces in here that when it's spinning will actually pull itself out and the tip will come up. And every time I've seen this base on any Beyblade iteration, I've always thought that it was broken in some sort of way because I couldn't figure out how to get the tip out. It wasn't until I looked it up later that I found out that it does that off of centrifugal force, so that's its gimmick. And I feel really stupid for doing that now. So, I mean, luckily I haven't broken any of them. It's just, I don't know how I didn't realize that sooner. This is round shell, round defense, whatever you want to call him. Big fucking rubber ring. He doesn't move around for shit. He's really heavy. There's actually a launcher that shoots him sideways, but I don't have the piece that goes here in order to use it. I do have the launcher, just not that one little piece. I think there is a launcher being sold online right now for that has the piece, but I'm not willing to fork out almost $70 just to get that one little piece. So, otherwise it functions pretty well as just a normal blade. He doesn't really do much other than just take hits, but that's perfectly fine. This guy is Thunder Serpent. He is odd, just because, as you saw with Jiraiya, his attack ring is completely separate from the center, and also, so is his middle ring. So he is almost completely free spin, and this is what I mean by free spin. So he can take hits, and the whole point of the free spin is to mitigate some of that damage. The only problem is, when you get hit like that and you're already spinning with so much free spin, you're actually sapping your own spin. So this blade actually is really bad, just because it has so much free spin that it's actually sapping itself for more than anything it could gain out of having that effect be a viable option. But, I mean, it was cheap, and it's part of the set, so, I mean, I'm working on collecting all of them, at least one of each, so. The only reason I'd ever pick up another one is just for, if it came as part of, like, a set. Like, for instance, this guy. There's still a set out there that has a number of these in a bundle for like $300, and I'm still planning on getting it just because it has a stock version of this, and that's the only way I can find it right now. I mean, I'm still gauging whether or not I feel I need to get it, because a lot of the other ones I got, but we'll see. I think that's the only one that I have ordered that I still need to get. So this is HMS Defense. There is no real gimmick. It does, whoops. You get back together, you. Just put you like that there. I cannot hold on to this one to save my life, apparently. Alright, try this again. HMS Defense. He's got these spinning wheels on here. I guess it's supposed to help mitigate some damage if he gets hit there. Doesn't really save the rest of the blade at all, though. So it's kind of it's an attempt. I guess it does raise its defense a little bit more than some of the other ones. Not very heavy though. I mean, it's kind of heavy compared to some of them, but the big thing is rubber tip, which on a defensive blade is weird. Like, yeah, you get more traction, and I suppose that allows you to move around less, but you're also sapping your own spin with rubber. So, I mean, I suppose. And the last one I have here is Drigger. I mean, there's no real... It's another very simple blade. It's not too heavy. It's got 2 basic attack points. Other than that, I mean, there's not much to it. It's supposed to be a stamina type blade, so they didn't make it too heavy. They didn't give it too much attack. The tip doesn't make it roam too terribly much, so it's not overly aggressive. Cool blade. Very much enjoy it. I've still got some blades in the mail. I've still got a Drasil that's coming from Hong Kong, eventually. We'll see how long that actually takes to get here. I have an advanced attacker, so another, or not advanced attack, or advanced endure or something like that. I'll Evulsor or something like that. It's along the lines of these guys. So we'll see once we get that. He's coming in from from Australia actually, and last I checked, he is in fact en route to the USA. So I'll probably see him within the next month. Also, within the next week, I'll probably have the Slashliger in, which I'm looking forward to because I've been trying to get that one since April, and I managed to find one stateside. So that should be in the mail tomorrow and on its way and here by next week, hopefully. So that was pretty much my collection. Move some of these back into view. That is my collection of Beyblades so far for the HMS. I do still have some Burst. I never really got into the Burst series just because instead of having blade by blade gimmicks, like, you know, because that is kind of what makes each of these blades unique, is their own universal gimmick and build. They kind of, like, they still have it, but it's just, it's more mixed and matched now, so it's like, I don't know, it just turns me off to the idea, and they're trying to put in these general overall gimmicks, and any gimmick where you can lose literally 2 seconds after you shoot it in is not my kind of game. And that's what the whole burst mechanic is. I mean, the blades look cool, so that's cool, but I don't know. After I get these HMS series blades done, I will be going back to Plastic Gen. I've already ordered some from Japan, but Japan has cut off all mailing for right now, so hopefully once this pandemic gets over, we'll be seeing those start to grace my camera and my desk. We'll go with that. I wanted to say workplace, but it's not really my workbench. I mean, it kind of is. I do all my little shit here, but anyway, that has been my Beyblade collection for right now. Now that I've gone over a general synopsis of each one, if you want to request fights between certain blades, or you just want me to go in depth more with each of them, by all means, go ahead. I'll be more than happy to take one blade and focus on it, and then just shoot it against the whole entire group as a video. That's pretty much what I plan to do anyway. It's just, if there's something you want to see specifically, I can put that as priority on the queue. Anyway, later.